Hello, Tom, aka Gedeon here for Star Frontiers Gamer and Tabletop Tap Room. And we just actually had our first live stream, which was great. And there was a lot of positive reaction to it. And so I thought I'd release this one video. This is from a 4 or 5 part adventure that we did back in 2021. It's the only episode I recorded. It involved a break-in at a robotics lab in Port Loren. And the player characters are all CSI, crime scene investigators for the Port Loren Police. So this is just them on that one segment of that adventure. Unfortunately, it is the only segment I recorded, but I just recently rewatched it, and these guys were cut-ups. Aaron with his dry humor playing Adralosite was fantastic. And then at the end, the cutting up about the air car shot out of the sky with one shot by Fred Warmock's character that they kept saying that it crashed into a food truck with a school field trip of children, and there was a puppy adoption going on. There was a lot of cutting up in this, and it was actually quite funny. So I'm throwing it out there. All 5 episodes are not available. It's just the one for the Founders Day adventure that I wrote. But if you're interested in Star Frontiers, if you're interested in live play, this was one session with Oscar, Fred, Aaron, and Tammy, and they were just great. They had me in stitches throughout the whole thing with the constant cutting up, and particularly the dry humor of Aaron. He was hysterical. So if you're at all interested in Star Frontiers and you're interested in live play, you might enjoy this. If not, it's okay. So this is break-in at Eagle Robotics, part of the Founders Day adventure from 2021 by the CSI Port Loren team that we're running in my campaign in 2021. Right out of Zeb's guide, actually. Nice. And I wouldn't have picked it, but I went with it.
It's nice when Zeb's guide can provide something useful. So,
yeah. This location is Conducticon Valley, and technically Conducticon Valley is within the Port Loren jurisdiction, but the company responsible for managing the security there handles police and security work. So normally you wouldn't respond there, especially for something like a burglary. However, not the management company managing Conducticon Valley, but the firm in charge of security has requested Port Loren Police presence because there's a chance that one of their employees is implicated in this theft. So they want everything above board. They don't want a conflict of interest. And so that's why you're being called in. They have specifically requested a coroner be on hand. And you've been authorized an air van, by the police department to get out there in a timely manner. It'll take you about an hour to get there.
And what's the name of the company that is managing security?
It's a verse company called RIK,
Okay.
R-I-K, all capitals, and it's a verse trade house. So this is all the information the sergeant has for you. That apparently they want a coroner on hand, and the security company has requested for the police to come in. Normally, they would handle the burglary investigation themselves.
I will Kick's antenna perk up when he asks, and they say that the Rusk trade house is Rick. And I go, you don't mean Ralaka, do you?
As in,
I'll say that's a security trading house from the Triscar system.
Yes.
I'll say that's very interesting, and I'll go, a word, gentlemen, lady. This may be connected to our last case.
I know, I did think of that too.
Oh boy. Interesting.
Let me interject, actually. your last case was connected to Matterly's Star, Free World Rebellion. Whole different system from Triscar.
Right, but Rick was also involved, cleared of a anti-human Vrust hate crime assassination situation. So in a way, they're both semi-connected to violent racial incidents between humans and Vrust.
All right.
I mean, I do believe in coincidences, but that's a lie. And I chuckle.
And sometimes roll an 01.
I happen to, having worked some of the security firms before arriving here in Port Loren, I've heard a bit about Rick, and they have a pretty good reputation. I mean, they are known for providing excellent security, but only for Vrust companies. And what I've heard is that in the work that they're doing in Conducticon, that since they've been involved, there's actually been a big reduction in industrial espionage. So I've heard as much as 20%. So of course that's what you hear through the back channels, but they do have a very good reputation. So it'd be interesting to learn a little bit more about what's going on there.
Well, you don't maintain a trade house unless you do good work. And if they did hire out for a Vrust trading house, security trade house, they obviously had a lot of leaks to plug. So a 20% reduction means that they had a huge problem before Rick got there.
Without a doubt. Well, we all know that industrial espionage is pretty big among the tech firms. I am curious, though, if this is a theft. They made a request for a coroner.
That'll be interesting to see. And I grab my med kit and I strap it to my lower thorax.
I got a feeling it's going to be a long day, guys.
Aren't they all?
Oh, yesterday was...
Well, we can stop for food on the way there if we want to pack a lunch. I have a feeling once we get boots on the ground, it's going to be busy work.
Sounds good to me.
So in the Airbus, it's just the four of us, right? There's no other personnel.
There's a driver.
Oh, there is a driver. Okay.
And I'll ask, where are we heading again? I didn't catch it.
It's Conducticon Valley, and the site has got a management company that manages it, but they've hired Rick as their security consultant. And Rick has requested that you come in and investigate. They're worried about a conflict of interest.
Guys, I don't want to rattle any cages, but Conducticon Valley is where they developed the BAP-bin technology. I don't mess around with that stuff. That's pretty scary stuff.
Well, they've developed a lot of technology there. It's one of the major tech centers in the Cassadine system outside of the Malcon Valley. There's R&D firms all over for lots of mega corporations here.
I'm just saying, if I fall into one of those BAP-bins... I'm just saying, if I fall into one of those BAP-bins, I'm not going to be happy.
I'm not familiar with those. What are those used for?
They're sort of like a weird version of Star Trek's teleporters.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
They're more like the Fly, right? They got to have two on different ends.
It's a Zeb's Guide new edition.
I remember them from Zeb's Guide now.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of bashing on Zeb's Guide, guys.
I'll be staying away from them if at all possible.
Yeah, I know. Just make sure there's no flies inside
Let's not throw down, okay, guys? It's not that bad a book, okay? Where would we be without Osakar, Huma, and Proton?
I got it.
Does it have problems? Yes. But it's not quite the redheaded stepchild of the Star Frontier universe.
It's just the rules. The rules are stupid. That's all.
It gets beaten like the redheaded.
It was the 80s. All the rules were stupid.
Yeah, no, I agree on that. There's a lot of bad rules. So.
And hey, look, anything that we got, any morsel that fell off of TSR's table was welcome. So
yeah, we were all jackals for content.
All right.
Tammy,
All right.
want to spin?
Yes, I'm gonna wait for him to get back though, huh?
So we're gonna head over there and is Kid our coroner? Is that
Yes.
what his main function is?
Yeah.
I don't know if he had a different function than being.
Kit, you're our coroner, yes.
I am.
I have med level 1 as well, so I don't know what level of skill we need to be a coroner, but probably would be sufficient, I would think.
Well, if you'd like to consult, I could always use a extra pair of hands.
I would be happy
I'm
to.
good for legs. And I can laugh.
I think in sticky situations, I would, with him assisting, I would give you like a 10% bonus against your skill check.
And I go to Warmock and said, and besides Warmock, if I get shot, I'd rather not have to patch myself up.
I can be quick with the BioCort. Don't worry, Kick. Not a problem.
Very cool.
Well, I haven't been shot on the job yet.
Day's not over yet, guys.
So, do we have a
Thank you, Oldor,
specific
for that vote of confidence in our fate.
Always there to make you feel better.
Oodledor keeps
When's
us
that
grounded,
gonna
that's for
start?
sure. There'll be no exuberant optimism with Oodledor around.
I did raise my lie detection skill up just slightly, just for you. So,
Oh, awesome. Thank you for doing that. I'm holding my XP for some increased beam skill.
there you go.
Eventually, we might need that. The last one was pretty bloodless, but
Right. All right. Well, are we going
who
to
are we
start?
supposed to connect with when we arrive at our destination?
We'll review the brief on the hour ride over.
So the High Director Gran Quivera is the Versk executive. That's his title. It's Versk Trade House. They go with different.
Right.
He's taken the company name. His full name is Rick E. Tick. And there is a lab director, a human female named Joe Benson, that you'll be meeting with both of them when you arrive.
What was his title again?
High Director Gran Quivera. You can just call him High Director. And a common practice among the Versk, they will take their trade house name and add it to their name. So his full name is Rick E. Tick, E' Tick.
Sounds like you need some medicine.
I see what you did there.
All right. Yeah, what else do we need to know before we get in there? Anything else?
So
How about the actual crime itself? I mean,
You're going to
Yeah,
get.
they really didn't tell us much.
Is there anybody who needs to share anything yet?
the only other thing I can tell you guys is that the Egalt Robotics is a longtime subsidiary of the megacorp Tacton Instruments, and they maintain research labs in the Conducticon Valley. So that's
Tactong is the teleporter developer.
No, I don't believe so. Tacton is the robotics megacorp. I would think II, the megacorp II, which is all the high-tech devices, would probably be the teleporter developer.
And so, are we aware of any other happenings with respect to Tacton that may have been in the news or that may have come across our holo screens?
Nothing's been in the news lately on Tacton.
Okay. And what about with respect to Egalt?
Egalt's been in the news. They've had some. They've sold. They've had government contracts where they've sold some of their stuff to military and to the government. So they've been doing well. It's been like in business news. It's stock to buy kind of thing.
Yeah, they're like the thing. Premier manufacturer of robotic brains.
Oh, interesting.
All right. So as the hover car, as the air car is coming in, you see. The time you arrive, you see 2 patrolling security robots, as well as 6 Versk and Rick issued uniform sky suits. There's also a ground car with a Rick employee standing up through the sunroof with a laser rifle, and that's patrolling slowly around the building. That's labeled EGALT Labs. The air car comes in and lands close to the door. They've kind of cordoned off the area around the labs. Nobody's getting near it. As you debark the air car, you can see several tens of kilometers away. There's a parking lot surrounded by a fence, and people have been coming in via air car, hover car, ground car. There's a squad of there's a 2-verse squad of security personnel there checking all their IDs, making sure they belong in the park and allowing them to go to wherever they're going for their place of work.
Are all of the Rick personnel Vrusk?
Yes, it's a Versk trade house.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they might employ other species. Interesting.
Is this normal operating procedure? The Versk checking everybody's IDs? Is this just a reaction?
Well, yeah, it's kind of you.
I said security is going to be extra high right now. A trade house just failed after taking an assignment and touting their 20% effectiveness increase. So right now they're humbled and embarrassed.
And Kik picks up right away in body language. It's no secret to him that all of the Versk he sees are pretty tense.
Okay.
I will, I guess, go over to the ground car with the robotics logo. It's probably waiting for us.
Well, no, you've landed right by the door of EGALT Labs.
Oh, we're there. Okay.
And yeah, because you're the police, you can come in and.
Okay, we'll come in and I'll see who greets us. We're obviously police. We landed in the police cruiser.
Yeah, it's no secret.
Okay.
So you've got the high director, E-Tick, and so right away he starts in with briefing, and he can't believe that a Rick employee would be involved, as this would jeopardize their contract with the Conducticon management. He hopes that you guys can clear this up fairly quickly, and appearances. You get the impression that appearances are really important to him. That he wants no appearance of anything underhanded on their part. So he's like, whatever you need, we're here to support you. And he'll introduce you to Jo Benson. She's the lab director for EGALT. She's currently checking what was taken from the vault. But he brings you over and goes, "This is why we've called you. You see that there's a sheet over what could be a body, but the body underneath it kind of looks like a robot. And as he lifts the sheet, there is a destroyed robot there that has been a security robot that has been blasted, and there are black char marks. And the robot's been destroyed, but it's one of its hands had clamped onto the leg of a Versk. And it appears that the leg of the Versk has been cut off above the knee. You can see some pry marks on the claws, like somebody tried to pry the claw open with a pry bar and it didn't work. So it appears that somebody, either the thief or a compatriot, cut away his leg above the knee.
That's one way to get a leg up in life.
That humor was spot on.
I will examine the wound and see if this was a dull knife, a sharp knife, a vibro knife, a sonic knife, a scalpel. What kind of tool was used to sever the leg? And also, was there sufficient blood that this was an amateur, or is this somebody who clamped off the leg and surgically removed it with expertise?
there's a puddle of oil that is leaked out of the robot, and then there's a puddle of ichor that is leaked out of the leg. They've mingled on the ground. You believe that the leg was severed with a sonic tool or weapon of some sort.
So clean cut.
Does the robot look like fairly standard manufacture, or does there anything look like there's anything special about the robot? Is it a standard security bot?
It's a standard security bot with claw hands, designed to restrain, not to, it's not like a combat robot. It's a security robot designed to restrain.
Can I get access to it and look into its files and do some analysis on the robot itself?
Yeah,
I will say that I think that's a great idea. But if you could get this hand open first, I'll take the leg off your hands. You'll take the robot. I'll take the leg. Warmock, Cammy, maybe you want to start talking to this director person. I want to run some.
Yeah,
tests
I'd like to
on
talk to Dr. Benson.
So we're gonna split up the group.
All right. So Cammy and Warmock. Joe Benson is the director's human female, mid-aged. She reports the only thing stolen was a positronic cerebral purge module. And she's kind of distressed about that. The PCP module is able to format their latest generation of robotic brains. It able to format it and wipe the programming clean. Basically, if that is done to a robotic brain with this module, it's like it was lobotomized until you reinstall a personality matrix and reinstall programming.
So it's going to wipe them out.
So it is an item. It's a very tightly controlled item. They keep it in a vault. There's not a lot of them around. So this has the look of industrial espionage for the fact that was taken.
So I want to ask, how is this secured in the first place?
It was locked in the vault.
And who has access to the vault?
Well, she does, but the you can go over and examine the vault. The vault's standing open right now. It's been expertly picked. The security's been defeated. The sensors on there have been defeated. And the vault's been open. And according to her, is the only thing that's been taken.
And if I can ask you a question about this purge module, so if whoever this perpetrator is wanted to employ that against a robot, how would they do that? Would they have to install it, or is it some kind of a device that is pointed and point and shoot, or how is it applied?
It has to be connected to a robotic brain. It was developed. There were some cases decades ago where robotic brains, took over, the Omicron spaceship, where the robotic brain went wacky and killed people and took off with the ship, and so the positronic purge module was developed as a counter for that help. Without totally frying the robot, because they are expensive.
And are they multiple use or one-time use?
It's multiple use.
I see.
So I want to ask her why she thinks someone would have taken this. What's her thoughts?
Well, it greatly aids in reprogramming a robotic brain, but it also can be used to lobotomize them.
And do you have replacement devices of these, or is this the only one that you had?
It's the only one that we have on planet. We would have to send off planet for another.
And are these only usable against EGALT-made robots, or are they widely applicable to other robots?
It's only suitable for the EGALT robotics, the latest generation of robotic brain. There are 12 of those on planet.
Would you be able to give us a list of where those are in use?
Yeah. There are 4 in use by the military, between ground fleet and space fleet. There's one at Starlaw headquarters. one at PGC headquarters, one at the Council of Worlds, managing the environmental and security systems, and there's one owned by Port Loren, running the city grid, maintaining transportation, electricities, and waste management. And finally, the last one, I said 12, I was incorrect. The last one is here managing the eGalt robotics factory, which is just a few kilometers away.
And do you have knowledge of how those other robotic brains are secured in those installations?
Well, the military ones, the military set up themselves. They did not have our technicians set them up, and those are under tight military security. Star Laws is under tight security. Our tech teams probably set up the rest.
Got it. And so, is there typically a standard security protocol that you use in setting those up? Because obviously the implication here is that someone intends to do harm with that device. So we would need to reach out to those clients if that's something that you'd be agreeable to.
Well, eGalt Robotics recommends that all such high-level robots like that have a lock on them. So the lock has to be defeated first before you can do anything with the programming. It's a standard piece of equipment that you'll add to a robot, but not everybody does.
And typically these robotic brains, I mean, what kind of chassis are we talking about for these units? Are these room-sized robots? Okay.
This is would be installed in a heavy-duty robot body, or it's installed in a facility or in a building.
And would they typically then be mobile in any regard, or are they kind of fixed and they may have multiple tiers of security around them?
Yeah, most of these robotic brains are installed in facilities, running factories, running city grid, that type of thing.
Got it. And with respect to access to this particular vault, you mentioned that you had access to it. Are there any other personnel that had, so looking around the room here, is it easy to get access to this room where the vault is? Are there multiple, sort of security doors? Well, are there cameras in this room?
There are no cameras in this room. As a security precaution against industrial espionage, we didn't want the security system hacked, but there's multiple levels of scanners, infrared scanners, motion scanners, but these things seem to have been defeated because they didn't trigger any alarms. The thief was able to penetrate the facility and open the vault. He was able to then go to the bat bin room and hack the passcode for the bat bin, and we believe that he's transmitted the PCP module via bat bin out of the building.
And do you happen to have you checked the coordinates? I mean, I'm not intimately familiar with how the bat bins work, but can we get access to where that may have been transmitted to? The bat bin, our bat bin only connects to our factory.
It's a closed loop between the two, and we've already called the factory, and it did not arrive at the factory receiving pad. So,
hey guys, I got to just step away for a minute. All right?
Sure.
Okay. So,
has anyone inspected this bat bin to see if it's been reprogrammed? Is it possible to reprogram this for another different destination?
It's a hard transmission line. It's a hard transmission line where it allows us to transmit to teleport material from here, from the labs to the factory, and from the factory back to the labs.
What else? So what did show up on the other end?
Nothing.
Around that time, before, after?
Nothing.
Are the lines
Just a mystery.
Yeah.
The transmission lines that are used to connect these two bat bins? How are they run? Are they run through an underground conduit? Are they run above ground? It's possible that someone may have spliced into it and basically hijacked the material.
That is a possibility. We'd have to walk the entire the transmission line corridor, and doing a hard inspection. That'll take a little bit of time.
Have you dispatched anyone or robots to be able to begin that search?
No, but we could ask Rick Security to do so.
That would be very helpful. I mean, we would like to assist in that search when we're done with our inspection here.
Oh, so E-Tick is present. You can ask him to do that, and he can quickly get that going.
Fantastic.
So, Tammy?
I was just gonna say, I don't know that it's a smart idea to not have one of us go with them, because if we think one of them's involved.
How far away is the robotic facility?
It's like 5 kilometers away.
Okay, so I would think that the ground, the amount of ground that has to be covered just might be problematic for us to be able to cover that. But it feels to me like this would be an outside job, but who knows? So if one of us wants to escort them, we can.
All right, I'm going to jump back to Oscar here. You're looking at the leg, and the leg is in what you recognize fairly quickly as the remains of a Rick security uniform. It appears to be a legitimate Rick security uniform, sky suit. You can tell that it's a male Versk,
Okay.
and that the subject was alive when the leg was cut off.
Okay. Just by examining the foot, can I get or estimate an approximate age and level of health?
You believe that the cat you don't detect any what's that term where they the medical term there about any medical problems.
Okay, so in good health.
And you would estimate that potentially by looking at it, you're thinking somewhere around 100, but Versk lived to 170 something.
So mature, a mature adult male.
So it's a mature middle-aged Versk. He's been around a while. Right.
So a male, mature to middle age, uniform in relatively good health. And this is a ruling, do Versk have fingerprints on their toes? Can I fingerprint and blood type the leg? So at least I could narrow down a blood type and possibly a print.
You can narrow down a blood type, and they have dermal ridges on their fingers, so I'm going to say yes, they have identifiable dermal ridges on their toes.
Okay, so I'm going to take prints off the foot and match and type the blood. And I don't know how long that's going to take me, but I want to start building as much of a profile as I could. And I'm going to, is one of the Rick people nearby?
Yes, E-Tick is here.
I'm going to say, do you have blood types on all of your personnel?
We have personnel records, extensive personnel records.
So you type for blood in your records?
Yes.
Do you dermal print for feet, hands and feet?
Only hands.
Only hands.
Do they have DNA scans by any chance?
I'm sorry?
Do they have DNA scans by any chance? Or DNA information at that level of detail? For their employees?
I'm going to dice for that. No. This is a good question, though.
If we're doing a head count, is someone missing? Like
no Rick personnel are missing.
none.
None.
And how is head count done?
They went down the Chronicom list and called everybody.
Okay. Once I get a blood type, I'm going to ask for all males between the age of 80 and 120 who are in the building at the time with this blood type to be gathered for questioning.
All right. Actually, no Rick personnel were in the building. Rick personnel is security for the whole the whole industrial complex. EGALT had been relying on security robots within the building, and if an alarm went off, then a RIC personnel would respond.
Well,
but you can do a process.
Okay, go ahead.
Anybody missing a leg with that blood?
Right. Whether, especially those who had access to the building, because if they had access to the building to respond to the robots, then they also had access to the buildings to, invade the building without the robots saying there was an alarm or not. They had the keys. So
Right.
I definitely want that gender, that age, that blood type, anyone who had access to the building, whether they claim to have been here or not.
Okay.
And I will tell the guy, we're trying to clear your company's name as quickly as possible.
Yes. All right. So while that's going on,
or catch this guy who's part of your crew. So I'm not telling them that, but
yeah. So while that's going on, Aaron, as you dig into the robot, you discover that his memory core has been removed.
Oh, that's convenient.
And you notice that there's some drops of Ichor blood in there. So whoever did it, had some Versk blood on his hands and pulled the memory core and took it with him.
Can we? I mean, is this process done physically, or is it done by jacking into his memory core?
No, it's done by opening him up and pulling out the memory core right out of the main board.
Can we dust for fingerprints? Can we look for other signs that what they might have used or done, anything of that nature?
Well, because you're looking at the Versk blood, you notice that there's some other Versk blood drops on the floor a little ways away.
All right. Is it just it's in the room itself?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, I cut his leg off. He's bleeding a little bit.
Right.
I'm gonna yell over from my workstation to Odor, and I'm gonna say, anywhere you see blood, just mark it with a flag. I want to test everything, just to narrow it down that we're dealing with the same person. There's a lot of blood here. There's no indication it couldn't have been more than one Vrusk who was injured.
Okay.
The robot obviously went down with a fight.
Kit, there's a lot of blood over here, and there's blood inside this robot, and this robot's lost its mind. Its memory core has been pulled.
I'll come over. I'll sample the blood in various places, and I'll say the nature of these blasts. Could it have been done by the weapon reprogramming tool robot stunner that they're all, whatever the device is? Could the stolen device have disabled this robot?
What's your weapon skill?
My personal weapon skill? I'm a projectile guy, and I have thrown.
Aaron, you don't have weapon skill, do you?
I do. I have level 1?
He's looking for beam.
Yeah, I have a beam weapon.
I have level 2 beam, if that's helpful.
All right.
But you're there, Fred.
You're looking
talking
at
to the
it,
witnesses.
and you got a feeling it was probably done with a laser.
Guys, looks like a laser.
Old reliable.
And it kind of makes sense since the normal combat cycle, a laser fires twice. There are 2 burn marks, so it was potentially set at high damage, high SEU. If it's a pistol, then it's the highest setting is 10, and if it's a laser rifle, the highest setting is 20, I believe.
That's right. And did the robot have any weapons, or was it simply its arms?
Yeah. It's a attack, defense, and restrain programming standard to this type. It's a low-level security robot, just attempting to restrain an intruder that didn't conform to having the proper ID, proper uniform type, however they identify people in EGALT.
Got it. Who has the highest computer skill in our group? I have level 1.
Oh, you do?
Not it.
It'd probably be me.
What was there? He has 2.
Yeah. Are we just talking
Oh, yeah.
operating
Well, I'm
computers?
curious to. I mean, whoever perpetrated this was, probably a master hacker, but it would, there might be some breadcrumbs in the computer system. I think it's also important that we find the means of egress.
Yeah.
So I don't mind going with the RIC security team to search the tunnels to see if the BAP lines got spliced. But, somebody should, I think, work with security to see if we can pick up any breadcrumbs on the security system on the hack.
Well, I'll definitely.
All hacks leave something.
I can. That's probably my field. So
Okay.
I'll go wherever their main port to, for that information would be held.
Well, the computer system does not appear to have been touched, according to Joe Benson. But what has been triggered is that one of the doors was hacked, was picked. The security systems attached to it were disabled. Various scanners within the laboratory area were disabled. The scanners, security scanners, and the lock on the vault were disabled. The vault was opened, and then they hacked the password on the controls for the BAP.
Joe, it looks like you have the security system of a screen door here. So I think you need to update things.
Yeah. These are actually high-level security systems. I mean, so whoever did this was really well skilled in technician and potentially robotics, since he pulled the memory core from the robot. That's not something the layperson does.
Does Joe Benson know how to do that?
Yeah, she's an engineer. She's a robotics engineer for Eagle.
Huh. Well, I don't know about you, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, could we ask your engineering team to inspect the BAP bins records and see if there is any anomalies in terms of power distribution or anything? And I'm going to, I will, ask the high director if I can accompany his security team to search the tunnels with them.
Okay, the transmission lines are actually above ground.
Oh, above, okay.
They run above ground, so they can be inspected. So you're going to depart for 5 kilometers by car.
3 miles.
Yeah, call it 10, 15 minutes for a quick visual scan. See if there's anything out of the ordinary.
Are there any, does the security team know if there's any kind of natural places where somebody could plug in or splice in? And that would be the place those would be the places that we would prioritize.
Yeah. The corridor is protected by fencing. It's not protected by any other surveillance or, scanning. It's just power lines that were run, but it is cordoned off.
Is there any reason? So given that it's cordoned off, it would be unlikely that there should be, let's say, vehicle tracks or nobody should be there, right?
Correct.
In the Airbus that we took here, do we have, it was a police Airbus, so is there any kind of inspection gear on there that if they did an aerial flyby along the transmission line, that they might be able to detect something from above?
No, there's no scanners that they're going to give you an edge, but you can use your Mark 1 eyeball. Visual scan.
Okay. All right. Well, we will begin our inspection of the line.
All right. So Warmock is off doing that. Anybody else have something?
I just guess for everything that I learned, especially with the computer and everything, I looked like it was hacked into. I'm just gonna give all that information to everyone else, obviously through my crown Chromicon watch or whatever the hell, walkie-talkie.
You can confirm that the bat bin was used.
Mm-hmm.
There was a power drain. That it was used at the timestamp that they believe that it was used, and it looks, from what you're looking at, because you're not fond of bat bins, but it looks to you like it sent out a transmission to the factory, like they claim.
Tell me, gentlemen, is it possible to reroute the bat bin to another bat bin?
Well, you'd have to attach a shunt to the transmission lines and shunt the signal to another location.
That's what I'm looking for.
Warmack is looking for the shunt now.
It's a big campus, buddy.
Okay.
All right, I'm just waiting for the reports to see if any of their personnel is that gender and has that age, has that blood type.
And you said you were testing the blood drops.
Mm-hmm. To make sure to narrow down that we were looking for one person.
Yeah. So as you're testing it, it's all the same. It's all the same. It matches the leg. The last blood drop you find is right at an emergency exit door. The sign on the door says "Emergency exit. Alarm will sound." The last drop is right there by the door.
I'll ask a security personnel to open the door and shut the alarm down so there's no alarm to see if the blood trail leads that way.
The alarm was already disabled on this door. The door opens freely.
Okay. So if I want me to roll detective, I will. I'm going to follow the blood trail.
Okay. Outside the door, it's just a strip of grass. This is like the side of the building, not the, this door opens to the side of the building.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a strip of grass, but as you're looking, you're finding a blood trail through the grass. But it's, it doesn't show up because it kind of blends with the color of the grass, but you are finding little blood drops, and they seem to be leading in the direction of a storm drain.
Oh.
I will see if there are any blood drops on the storm drain.
Close to, but none on the storm drain.
I will look around the storm drain to see if I see any other dots leading away from it. And if there aren't, I'm going to assume that he went down. Or he, because it is a male.
There's a cover. There's a cover there's a round cover, manhole type cover. And there are studs sticking up through it, and the bolts that were on those studs are loose in the grass near the storm drain.
Okay. I'm going to see if it's open, and I'm pretty sure that it is. I'm going to say, team, I've got a blood trail leading out of the building to a manhole storm drain cover. It appears the security was defeated on the door. The drain is unsecured. I'm not going down there without backup. Warmock, I know you're busy. What's your status, Atreides Odeldor?
I'm not familiar with storm drain duty, so I might be might be my first day. Might be a rookie there.
I say
I've spent
report. I said
time in the sewer.
I've got a needler and you've got beam weapons. I said I need security.
All right, I'll ask the Rick security guys to continue their inspection, and I'll head back to.
I go no. We are investigating. We are not leaving this to Rick. If we can't let Rick lead the investigation because they're trying to make sure that there's no impropriety. Anything they find, it'll be in question. Rick personnel are still suspects, so stay. I trust you looking for the shunt.
Well, then we need to make a call whether we want to continue with that or pursue the blood trail.
There are two other team members, Superman. Keep looking for the shunt. One of these two will back me up.
Okay.
I'll now say, and I'll report in, and you shouldn't be down there alone either.
Yes. True story.
All right, so Tammy's going with you down the manhole?
Yeah.
If she wants to. And it's obvious that Odeldor doesn't.
I don't like to get my feet dirty.
Oh,
All right. All right. So
I'm not too either, but we are working.
If I could suggest, maybe somebody else should pick up the inspection of the shunt, since I have the highest beam skills and I'm military. If we find the assailant or the thief, I might be able to come in handy a little bit more if we get into a confrontation.
True.
Yeah, but if you find where the shunt leads, you may beat us there.
My guess is that the shunt is going to, if we find one, the shunt is going to be long gone, right? We would have seen it if it was, visible. The bat bins, I mean, I don't know if it's common knowledge or not, but I mean, bat bins are probably fairly big platform devices, right? And is it well known whether can you like store the encoding in a small device?
Believe it or not, I think you have the more dangerous job.
Okay.
I think that they don't care what happened to the operative. They care of covering their tracks to cover what they stole. And I think what they stole, they got out through the bat bin. So if anyone's going to be suddenly attacked by ambush, it's probably you, Warmock.
I'm just wondering if they use the bat bin as a decoy. And it could be a wild goose chase. That's
and
all.
The blood
But I'll
trail could also be a wild goose chase.
Right. All right. I'll continue searching for the shunt.
Hey, whichever one of us gets attacked, the other one will buy dinner. We'll make a game out of it. And if no one gets attacked, we pay for our own food.
All right. So
I hope you're buying me dinner then. My laser pistol wants some use.
We'll see.
quick question. Storm drainage systems, is that connected to waste management as well? Like I am not
Really?
right up on that. Like,
all right, storm drains, and I say this because I've canoed up a storm drain about 1.5 miles under the city of Dedham, Mass.
why would you do that?
Because it was there.
Were you looking for ghouls?
Well, no, because we're paddling
Trolls.
on the Charles River, and then there's this pipe like 7 feet in diameter, and we're like, let's go in there, and
No normal person thinks that, Tom.
No, I would do that. I'm with Tom.
Again,
I'd go in.
no normal person thinks that, Tom and Aaron.
I wanted to see what was in there, so
No, that's a bad.
That sounds like the perfect level 1 adventure for
I-
a
I'm with
Horror
Tom. I'm
writer.
like,
We
why
don't
would you
do
that?
we
here's
don't
the
do
funny
that.
thing is that my roommate was this short, skinny little kid named JT. He was not very physical or anything. And
You figure if you attack by monsters, they get him and you'd escape.
so he was in the front of the canoe, and we had paddled up there, I don't know, about 1/2 mile. And so I just to kind of mess with him a little bit, I says, if you see a rat, feel free to hit it with the paddle. And just then, as I said that, there was a pile of rocks right on the side, of this round tunnel, and there was this huge rat on it, and it jumped off because we spooked it. It jumped off the rocks towards the boat, and JT came around with the paddle and he literally got it on the head. He killed the rat because we're shining the flashlight down in the water, and
Wow.
it was on the bottom, and it was this huge monstrous thing.
So he came out of the tunnel with 10 experience points. That's impressive.
The storm drain is just water drainage to get it out, and to it's not connected to waste management. I know in Portland, Maine, the storm drains, when the storms overflow, you get sewage in the storm
You get
drain.
the poop then, yeah. That's when
Yeah, and it drains into the back bay and the back cove, and the back cove stinks like you know what. But that's the whole thing in Portland. It's been in place. There's a federal permit for it to happen.
It's the same thing in Buffalo. It's
so really?
when we get really bad rains, it backflows into the it's bad.
Oh.
I hope you like rats, Kick.
So you open. So I'm assuming it's 2 of you or 3 of you.
I mean, I can go if you want me to go. I mean, it's fine. It's I don't know if
I'm not in control here. You are.
No, I mean, if you guys
I'm just
want me
waiting
to
by
come
the
along.
grate, so whoever comes. I'm not in control. I'm not the boss.
All right.
Cammy shows up with her sonic disruptor.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll pull out my laser pistol shaking.
All right. I'm actually going to put on my helmet.
That's a good idea because I'm not a good shot.
I will say no, Officer Atreides. I have sonic protection earphones in the helmet, so if anything jumps on me, feel free to shoot it. I will be immune to friendly fire from you.
Okay, good. Not what you said last time, so that's good to know.
Well, you weren't using a sonic weapon last time. I guess we're both lucky today.
So you open the storm drain, and somebody have a flashlight?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Or use flashlight. It's a it's a circular chamber down there, and you can see multiple drains pouring trickle of water in. There hasn't been a storm lately, so multiple drains are trickling in. There's a ladder going down. When you get to the bottom, you see that 3 of the drains are really small, like only 20 centimeters in diameter. So nobody escaped down those.
We'll shine the flashlight down each in case the thief stashed something within arm's reach.
You don't see anything. It's just the usual crud and slime down each one. And you get the impression that if he put his arm down there, he would have disturbed some of that slime crud. Yeah.
Right. Gotcha.
So
all right.
The fourth drain, heading in the fourth direction, is actually big enough that most people would have to like crouch to walk down it. A Dralosite could walk standing fully upright without having to.
Oh, good for me.
Well, Rusk aren't much bigger than Dralosite, so I'm probably just ducking. Is this the only way to go, or this is like a branch of the main, or this is the way it goes?
You're in a dead end, and this leads out, you presume, towards a main shaft.
All right, I'll take the lead, and I'll shine the flashlight down. Does it smell down here?
Yeah, it's a little.
In that case, I will click on the gas mask that comes with my helmet.
Helmet.
So after about
froze up.
After about 30 meters, there's a T intersection, and this is a bigger pipe, and there's a substantial amount of water, a good ankle depth, flowing down this. One direction of this T intersection heads to the east, and in that direction you can hear the ocean, you can hear waves, and the other direction to the west you can hear a periodic drop.
All right, we're gonna look for anything that would indicate passage, like some muck scraped off the side where somebody might have held or stumbled, some debris moved to indicate it's more likely he went this way or that.
It looks like on the east side that somebody leaned against the wall,
mm-hmm.
and you can see some drops of versed blood. There is a sonic scalpel that has been discarded.
Bag it. Photograph it, then bag it.
Okay.
You can right away. Oodledor can recognize that it's the standard sonic scalpel from a Robcom kit, from a tech tool kit, not the sonic scalpel that which is
medical.
They do the same, but you can spot that it's a tech tool, not a medical tool.
Okay.
And if you had to guess, you think maybe he was trying to cauterize his wound with the sonic, not the sonic scalpel, laser scalpel.
Oh, okay. So it's not the amputation tool. He's paused here, leaned against the wall while he was doing first aid on his foot.
Yeah, he's trying to cauterize to stop the blood trail.
Gotcha. Okay, we'll follow this one down after we bag this evidence.
Okay.
Hey, Kit, can we tell how long the blood's been there? I mean, is it by congealing or anything? Is there any?
I'll try and
I'm just curious if technology has gone that direction.
Well, I should be able to spot it and have some kind of an opinion.
That's kind of damp in here, so it's as far as it doing its normal clotting factors, it's not overly clotted, but you think, if you had to guess, you'd say 30, 45 hour. It's hard to tell just because it is damp in here and the environment's damp, and so that's going to retard the whole clotting factor on the blood.
Right. I'll share that with them.
So you're heading down the east tunnel. Let me get back to Warmock. As you're doing the visual inspection, you do spy that somebody has run some lines through the fence, and this is close to the factory. Run some lines through the fence, and and that it does appear that there is a shunt has been attached to the main transmission lines. And there's other power lines, in this little corridor. There's other, service lines going on there, but it does appear that somebody has attached a shunt to the VAP bin transmission lines.
And is there any kind of visible location marker here? Like, are there any markings or anything on the power line? Because I'll report, the findings to the team in the location.
Yeah, you're about 100 meters from the factory.
Okay.
You can see the factory.
And where the lines are running through the fence, is there an easy way to get through the fence there?
You're in a ground car with Rick personnel. So it would have been handy if you were had an air car. You could just hop over, but you see that the shunt seems to go into some bushes alongside a building. Like it's been laid. It's kind of an impromptu thing that's been done on the quick, and you don't think it's been there very long.
Is it possible to scale the fence there?
Yeah, you can scale the fence, go onto the transmission line, scale the other fence.
Okay.
Not electrified, is it?
Yeah, I'll ask the Rick security team. Is it? I'm going to go investigate this. Is that fence? If I touch that fence, I won't get electrocuted, will I?
No.
Okay. All right. Well then, I'll tell them to stay positioned here at the junction, and I will go and scale the fence. And when I drop down to the other side, I will turn on my albedo screen as well as take out my laser pistol.
Sure. So you follow this effort's been done to camouflage it. It's hidden behind bushes. Dirt's been put on top of it, type of thing. It goes about 60 meters, and you note that it enters a building. A hole's been cut in a building, and it enters a building. Now, this is kind of a metal structure building, and looking around the side, you notice that it's a storage. It seems to be a storage type, rentable storage type location.
Okay. And so I will pause. I'll report that to the team. I'm able to communicate them with the chronocom, right? Without any issue.
Yes.
Okay. I'll look around on the ground. Do I see any signs of blood droppings anywhere?
No. There's no blood here.
Okay. All right. Well, then I will using my stealth abilities. I will try to stealthily approach the hole with cover. Staying on the sides of the hole.
It's a hole like this. The shunt transmission line goes through it.
It's only like this big. It's not.
Yeah, it's just somebody cut a hole, ran a line through it. They're not. It's not a big hole for people to go, hey, why is there a hole in that building?
Got it. Okay. Where is the entrance to the building?
It's around the side. You approach the entrance. You see somebody who's at the desk.
So I'll identify myself. Say I'm Officer Warmock from the Port Loren Police Department. I'm here to investigate the incident that has occurred. Is this a security guard or?
No, this is just like a regular employee there to, take your money, give you a unit, unlock the unit and sell them out. And he's like, what? He's all questioning what kind of
is this an e-golf facility at all, or is this some other?
This is a different. There's a lot of different companies in this office in this industrial park.
Oh, so
Ah,
outside,
okay.
that's outside the. Oh,
Well, Ben, I'll say I'm investigating criminal activity in the area, and the evidence suggests that the criminal used your facility here to perpetrate the crime. I'd like to inspect the premises.
Sure. So
I'll ask him if he can open. I'll ask him. So, has anybody suspicious? What occurs here? Is this just a self-storage facility?
yeah, this is a self-storage. We store. The employees here in the office park use it, but also sometimes we provide shipping containers for for corporate rental. Deliver the container, bring it back here, and store it here. But we do have storage units, lockable storage units, various sizes.
Okay. And have you noticed any suspicious activity here today? Have you been on duty all day today?
Yeah. There's really not been much activity here. Just one or two individuals came through, did what they did, and left.
Can you describe them?
One was a human male. Male pattern baldness, comb over. And the other was a human female. She wasn't here very long at all.
You haven't noticed any Rusk in the vicinity, have you?
No brusque.
Okay. Well,
other than the Rick security guard who made me, show my badge before they let me out of the parking lot.
Why would he be in the? If this is an independent facility, why would he be parking in that parking lot?
Well, it's just the general parking lot that everybody uses.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So he parked his vehicle. Had to go through securities. Is that what all this is about? Was what was going on there?
Well, yes, and I don't want to alarm you, but it appears that someone has cut a hole in one of your storage units and run some illegal power lines into it, and so I'm going to need you to open up that unit for me.
All right, so he does, and you find the unit. It was locked, but you find in there is a temporary bat bin receiving pad, and the unit's empty.
And looking around on the floor, are there any signs of blood anywhere?
No signs of blood.
Interesting. Are there any security? I'll ask the guy. Do you maintain any security cameras here?
Yeah, we have some security footage. I can give you the name of the guy who rented it.
I'd like any information about anyone that's rented this unit, and I'd also like to review the security footage, please.
All right, so you're going to obtain the security footage. The name on the contract is Fred White, and you're obtaining security footage. So let's go back to the other team.
Okay.
So it's it's about 70 meters down that tunnel, and it comes out. There's a metal grate. You can tell you're right at the shore. The storm water drains out and runs out into the ocean. What do you want to do?
I would imagine we start just looking around, see if there's anything that was left behind, especially on the shoreline, because they probably had a boat or something to get them the hell out of there. But
Right, vehicle tracks or
you touch the metal grate and it falls away.
I was going to say, we got to.
So I mean, it just somebody has done what they needed to unbolt and cut away the metal grate. They just put it back in place like it was there. So it just falls away flat. As you come out and you search the area around it, you find a Versk dry suit, oxygen rebreather, and a waterproof bag of about a small backpack size. And they were stashed underneath a bush. What do you want to do?
Collect that. I mean, photographic, collect it as evidence.
Does Does it look like it's been used? Has the air been used out of the rebreather? Did he use this to swim up to the grate?
Yeah, you've got to. Yeah, you didn't swim up to the grate. He swam ashore and walked up to the grate.
But he didn't swim away because it's still here.
Obviously not. There was some sand stuck to the dry suit. So like when you come out of the water wet and you walk through sand, some sand.
So this is how he got in.
Right.
Okay.
We don't know where he went from here.
As Aaron is trying to collect the gear, two things fall right at his feet. One is a little transmitter, and it's with a light beeping, and the other is a grenade. What do you do now?
Uh-oh.
Does it look like it's lit? It's ready to go off?
No, I think he had it booby trapped that if the bag was disturbed.
The grenade looks active, so I need a.
I guess I'm jumping out of the way.
I need
or
a
jumping on it if you want to
check from you.
think about your friends here.
Is a reaction speed, right?
Yeah, RS reaction speed.
All right. So I'm obviously going to try to jump out of the way. And I'm going to yell grenade. I got a 14, so I'm good on that.
So it's a tangler grenade. It makes a mess of the evidence you're about to try to collect, but it doesn't entangle you. Somehow that little transmitter misses becoming entangled. It's just it looks like some kind of a warning transmitter that sends a signal, sends a chronicom signal to be received by somebody.
Gentlemen, I think we set them off. We know they're on their trail.
Oh, I'm glad that it wasn't a frag grenade.
Two.
You've got quick reflexes for your race, sir.
Well, I might be chubby, but I got it where it counts.
If it had been a frag grenade, he might not need the transmitter to know that it had been detonated.
Right.
He'd hear it. So, Warmock has successfully collected all the evidence there. You can secure that facility for later and come back, or you can continue to investigate there. What would you like to do?
Did I see anything on the security footage?
Yeah, you have an individual. You've got stills of an individual. You know what he looks like.
Is it a human or a Vrosk?
It's a human. It's a human, and he left with a package. He went in, closed the door to the storage unit, was there for about 40 minutes on the video, and then he left about the time that they've determined that the security robot would have. Actually, the timestamp on the BAP-bin transmission, he leaves right after the timestamp that you guys would have had on that BAP-bin transmission out of the laboratory.
And how long ago was that from now?
It's about 2.5 hours ago. It took me close almost an hour to get there by air vehicle.
Wonder if we could find out what that vehicle is, Fred, and we could see if he's gone anywhere. Like any city cameras might have caught him anywhere.
Right. When we come out of this grate after the Tangler grenade goes off, I'm just going to scan the immediate area to see if I see any cameras anywhere within reach that might be scanning this area of the beach.
No, it's a rocky shore. It's not something somebody's going to come and like that. It's kind of rocky. It's kind of like here in Maine when you've just rocky shore.
I figured this guy was a professional. He came in this way because he knew there was no cameras, but just wanted to cross the I's, dot the T's.
So he
dot the T's.
I lost you guys there for a second. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just saying, Fred, maybe you could that information that you got with that gentleman with the package, see if you can find his vehicle. Any city cameras, might have picked him up driving anywhere else in the area.
And what kind of vehicle did he leave in?
Well, you don't know. The video footage inside was to watch the storage units. So they don't have video footage of his vehicle, but you do have good stills, good video footage of what the person looks like, so you know who you're looking for as far as what they look like.
But the Rusk that was checking everyone's ID badge, he should have been in that parking lot, right? I mean,
yeah, that parking lot's closer to the labs. You're like 4.5 kilometers away right now.
So I'm just curious. I'll look around. So basically, I've seen this individual kind of leave the storage facility onto the street. I don't know whether he got in a vehicle or not, right? So
you would presume he got in a vehicle.
If I look around outside the storage facility, are there other buildings that may have external cameras that I could try to commandeer the footage of?
Yeah. Yes. So you can pursue that.
I'll pursue that.
All right. So, Tammy, you wanted to look at the transmitter.
Sure.
That's what I thought I heard you say.
It's all right. It was a garble. No,
Yeah.
I was just wondering about the girl, but I'm not actually over there, so it's okay.
Oh, okay.
The girl that they said there was a man and a woman.
Yeah. Well, the woman just went to a different unit on the video footage, and she didn't have any interaction with the man. But you're pretty sure you're looking for a human male, middle-aged.
all right.
Named Fred. Those are always the ones to watch out for.
Watch out those Fred.
Honestly, I wrote the name Fred down like 10 years ago. I changed names today. I didn't even think about, oh, wait a minute, one of the players was Fred.
Always watch those Freds.
That's it.
Can we collect all that evidence now that the Tangler grenade went off, or is it like Spider-Man webbing? That's like impossible.
Yeah. I mean, if
I think I have solve away. Hold on.
Yeah, Tammy's got solve away.
Yeah, I do too.
Right. We'll
So you
spray
can
that
solve
down.
it. Yeah. So you collect the stuff. The solve away and the Tangler being on, it's probably going to wipe out. Probably going to interfere with trace evidence as far as getting prints or anything.
Can we find out where that transmitter transmitted? Can we track that down, or can we triangulate that?
It's an omnidirectional transmitter designed to send a signal to a chronocom.
So it just went out.
What's the range about approximately?
Up to 5 kilometers.
Oh boy.
So could be anywhere.
So same as your chronocom.
So there's no tracks of vehicles leading away. There's no footsteps.
I'm assuming they used a boat.
There's footsteps coming out of the water, stashing the stuff, and then but you don't see reciprocal footsteps leaving.
But there's no vehicle tracks either. There wasn't somebody waiting for him here.
There's no vehicle tracks.
I think this guy. I think he went in this way and then he went out this way, and I think he went in and out, and he probably took a boat or somebody picked him up.
Or he had
he had some kind of. Didn't you guys say that there were other tunnels when you went into this? Because so couldn't he have come in here and then left through one of those other tunnels?
We could go to the west where we heard the dripping.
Well, he came out this way because we found the laser scalpel that he treated the foot.
Right.
And he lost the foot inside, so that happened. He treated it coming out. He definitely left this way.
He waited until he was in the tunnel to cauterize it.
Okay.
I mean, it is shot in the dark, but does security have any unidentified air vehicles leaving? I mean, maybe he stashed a jetpack or a power wing here with the wetsuit. Because we don't have tracks of him going towards the shore into a boat or driving away or getting picked up.
No.
So that only leaves up.
Does anybody have tracking ability?
I do. Well, I have environmental level 2.
No.
So.
Hold on. I have.
Isn't that in there?
I believe that is a subskill
Not environmental, of technician, maybe?
Well, the detective skills I have, the way I've set it up from Zebulon's, are cryptography, listening, gather information, empathic social understanding, surveillance, and intelligence. The
Right.
tracking is more of an explorer skill.
Make a logic check.
I wish I could show you the dice. 01.
Really?
Yeah, I
So-
totally wasted that one, but okay.
You're
I'll take it.
absolutely certain he did not come out this way.
Really? So maybe.
Okay, so we're going to wait a minute. We're going to go back to where he treated the wound,
Okay.
and we're going to look around for any other way he could have gotten out or backtrack.
Well, we went to the east. We could go to the west.
The tunnel goes to the west.
So why would he duck this way, treat the wound, and then leave the other way?
Maybe it throws off.
Maybe, or maybe he needed to retrieve something from the bag. Anyway,
God,
whatever.
my wallet.
We're gonna go the other way.
Okay. So
Is Warmock done where he is, or is he working on
I'm
something
trying
else?
to find additional camera evidence regarding the vehicle that he left in.
Okay,
all right, so-
we're gonna check in with you. We're gonna tell you what we're doing, in case we get eaten by a quick death. You know what happened,
It's a good idea.
and
Yeah, I
We
hate when
just
those Port Loren residents, buy those baby quick death and they let them loose in the sewers. It's
yeah,
just
I heard
horrible.
that one too. They're thick as thieves down here.
Alligators
Oh.
in the sewers.
so
Okay,
you've
we're gonna head the other way.
You've collected evidence. You've taken a copy of the form he filled out to rent the unit. He only rented it a month ago, and he paid only for 1 month. So it's kind of hanky that way. Obviously, he brought in the pad. You secured it. That's heavy equipment, but you can come back and look at that and try to develop evidence from that. But you're probably not going to get any evidence right now.
Right.
You've got the photo, you've got the video evidence of him using that unit, so you know what he looks like. His supposed name is Fred White, and you do have video evidence that shows him in a car, but you do notice that the car is a rental in the video. But you're able to get the plates, and you'll be able to track that later on back to a company and try to develop more information later.
Okay. I think I've gathered as much information as I can here, so I'm going to report into the team and let them know that I'm heading back to the main facility.
Okay.
Tom, is it legal for Fred to distribute the picture to the rest of the police force of Port Loren as a person of interest? Is that something they can do, or is that like?
Yes.
Put out an APB, basically.
So
Yeah.
You can transmit that image when you get back to the air van,
Okay.
police air van. I'm going to assume that they have some computer support. So, you send it wirelessly through the radio phone.
Might be a good idea just to have more eyes out for this guy who's around, and maybe also look for a Rusk with a missing leg.
I'll keep my eyes peeled for the Ross for sure.
Yeah.
A middle-aged male Vrusk missing a
One
leg.
thing that I did want, we had asked I think Dr. Benson for a list of contacts for people that have those robotic brain installations, and when I have a moment, I'd like to talk to them about the protocol of us being able to speak to those contacts and alert them that they may be compromised.
Okay. All right. So you're headed back, and the team is headed west. And after, roughly 60, 70 meters, you're guessing, dead reckoning underground, you come to a ladder, and it looks to you like the grime on the ladder's been disturbed.
It's going up, right?
The ladder goes up. Yep.
Okay.
Goes up to another manhole cover.
All right, I go, Cammy, I think it's your turn to take point.
Watch out for grenades.
Turn on your albedo screen before you peek your head out.
All right.
Give her a second. So Fred, you arrive back, and All right, so I've got a list. I gave it to you verbally. I should have actually written the list down so I could just.
I have the list. I wrote it down. So
I've
got four in use by the military, one at Star Law, one at Pangalactic, one at the Council of Worlds Environmental and Security Systems, which I'm particularly interested in, one Port Loren Transportation and Waste Management, and then one for the EGALT Robotics Factory.
Yeah.
So I'm mainly concerned with the PGC and the Council of Worlds and the Port Loren Transportation contacts.
Okay. And so, those are phone calls you'll need to make at some point. You want to make them now, or do you want to try to catch up with the team?
Well, knowing that, well, I'm not. Can I go catch up with them? I mean, knowing that the Council of Worlds is having, a delicate session coming up, they're prime suspect number one. So I would like, if I can place one call, I'd like to place a call to their contact.
Okay.
I just had a horrific thought.
So
they're going to wipe the Council of Worlds and reprogram that robot for easy access.
No, that they have access to a teleporter, and we have a report of a Vrusk assassin in the area.
Right.
Well,
yeah, the cicada's been on my mind as well.
This teleporter only goes from the labs to the factory, and the shunt was put in just to get that module out on the quick.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Well, we know we were dealing with at least two culprits here, so.
Yeah, so there's different people doing different things. So Cammie, as you go up the ladder, you can see that things have been done to cut away the bolts that restrain the manhole cover, and that the manhole cover is loose.
All right, so I'm gonna push on that.
All right, you push on that, and it opens up. And next thing you know, there's security guards with their guns in your face, and you're in the parking lot.
Oh.
And they're like, "What are you doing?"
Aha.
But they quickly realize you're police, and so they back off. But you surprise them. You're close to the entrance of the parking area.
All right. So
Well, at least we know that the parking area has to have security cameras. If they've got guards.
Let's hope.
Well, the guards were positioned here to double check anybody coming in, check their badges, make sure they belong here. This is a heightened security measure that
Right.
doesn't normally happen.
At the time of the crime, it wasn't high security here.
Right.
Oh, good point.
All right. Well, we'll still check if there's security here. There has to be a record of vehicles in and out.
Right.
Yeah.
So
All right.
we'll check for a vehicle that left. Any vehicle that left within,
What is it, 2
a
hours?
couple of hours of the crime.
Okay. So
I come up out of that manhole and I asked the guards if they expected us coming up from here.
they said no. They said no.
See, you never know. You never know. Never mind, guys. It's over your head. All right. Go ahead.
I'm still
All right.
thinking
So
about that. But anyhow,
how does my call with the Council of Worlds go?
so there's going to be layers of control and communication that you have to go through. You have to go through this guy to get to that guy. So it's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever played Stargrunt, and
No.
it's a war game. And if your team is calling for artillery, you got a dice for this, and you're going through levels of authority. So it's kind of like one of those, but you've sent out a warning that there's a potential for the robotic brain to be compromised at the Council of Worlds. So you've made that notification, and that's
Okay.
out.
Do we have a police? Does the Port Loren Police have any jurisdiction at the Council of Worlds, or is it strictly UPF business?
Well, the Council of Worlds, Port Loren Police supports Council of Worlds security. It's kind of like Secret Service working with the state police.
So my communication is with the Council of Worlds Security Organization, or is there a parallel warning I can issue within the Port Loren Police as well?
Your phone call's got to go through your own authority, and they're going to be making a thing.
Okay.
So you filed a report saying we believe this, and so they're probably going to pass it along to the Council of Worlds.
And so in doing that, since I'm talking to the HQ effectively, then I can also issue the APB with the information on the guy that we do know, Fred White.
So you've got an APB. Be on the lookout for Fred White. His photo's attached.
Okay. I'm going to ask. So Fred White is the one who took the item out of the other teleporter?
That is correct.
That's right.
All right, so are we focusing our search on this Fred White, or... Oh, for all we know, Fred White is the guy who drove our guy out.
That's right. Quite possibly.
Okay.
But that would be kind of a, you want to diversify that risk. That would be pretty risky strategy.
The one thing
Well, no, because Fred probably had access to this area. The real problem is breaking into the other building. Our guy was an expert. Basically, your guy is just the bag man and the getaway driver. Our guy is the security expert.
Right, but Fred White had the goods, right? So I mean, maybe the goods are useless without. Perhaps we can assume that that this could be the cicada, the Vrusk that we're seeking could be the cicada. And obviously he needs that device to do his thing, but
Possibly. But I don't think our break-in guy is the cicada. He's got a specific MO, and he's part of the assassin guild of the Zenk. They have a whole other department for breaking and entering.
I'm not as familiar with them, I guess, as you are. I don't know. I would imagine an assassin needs to know how to get in and out pretty well, but that could be.
We won't know until we run everything down. We don't have enough information to make a good hypothesis yet.
Right.
Well, the one thing is that the Vrusk going into the facility and getting his leg cut off there or pulled off or whatever. We know that he came in somehow and then he went out into the parking lot. So maybe Fred White picked him up.
Yeah, in the parking lot after he
could be.
finished the job.
The other
Or
thing
not.
is that a conjoining parking lot that Fred White would have been coming out of there?
Can Fred White easily walk onto this parking lot?
Okay. So
they were. It was 4 miles away, 4 kilometers away, 4.5 kilometers away from. And I know, Tom. Do we have this kind of spatially correct that the parking lot is near the main initial facility we went into?
yeah, the parking lot is near the laboratory, and a bunch of other high tech facilities like right around there. It seems like probably not that that he picked him up. It's like all the way over by the factories. It's like another section of town almost.
So okay, if that's the case, I mean, this is a parking lot for the facility. Do they have cameras? I mean, surely you would see then a Vrusk walking around without a leg. Somebody must have seen
Crawling
something.
out of the sewer.
Were any vehicles stolen last night from this lot? Did he break in or steal a car?
Well, you're talking about an event from like 2 hours ago.
Right.
Are
And
any vehicles missing?
there are no vehicles missing. No vehicles have left. Only vehicles have come in. The crowd has thinned out at this point. People have shown up for work. They've gone through the security checkpoint. And the crowd now. So the parking lot's largely empty. And who's got the best hearing?
Hearing?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know. How are Uzerians at hearing?
I have a 67 in intuition.
All right. Well,
and a 65 in logic. I don't know how you want to handle it.
Well, no, I'm saying, this description there for the racial descriptions. I think maybe Versk have better hearing than everybody else.
I'm not sure. Maybe.
I don't recall anything special about Drosselites having hearing better than anybody else.
All right. Well, one of you notices that you're hearing the whine of an air car powering up.
So I pull out my laser rifle and yell, he's still here on the premises. He's been hiding in one of the few vehicles, and look around and see if we see any of them.
Okay, so the way the parking lot's laid out, all the ground and hover vehicles are towards the front, closer to the gate, and at the back side of it is where all the air cars are.
So do we see one powering up?
Well, you could just, you can zero in on it with your head. I mean, you can just tell that's where the sound's coming from. So you head in that direction, and there's a white sporty model that
I'm running towards it.
Yeah, as am I.
Yeah.
Not taking any chances. If it's some guy just trying to get to lunch, I'll apologize after, but I'm going to run up with my badge and I'm going to start screaming, power it down now by order of the Port Loren Police Department.
How far away is it? And what I'd like to do is take up position so that I can get a bonus on aim on maybe on the hood of another vehicle with my laser rifle.
Okay, the careful aim rule is that you invoke careful aim, and you can only take one shot. So normally a laser rifle, you could take 2 shots, but by just limiting yourself to the one, you can invoke careful aim. And I believe that is a plus. So plus 15.
Awesome.
Tom, is it possible for me
every boost I can get?
Tom, is it possible for me just to leap on top of it?
Okay, you guys are I wrote down movement rates ahead of time. Running movement rates.
I'm kind of slow. I'm only running 20 meters.
35M for Ross.
Okay, so running rate for Adrolicites 20 meters, humans 30, 35 for the Versk. So our Versk compatriot's going to get there, going to get closest. He comes running up with his badge. Did you say you drew a gun?
No, I said I had my badge and I was yelling, power it down, do not take off by order of the Port Loren Police Department.
So you are effectively within like 5 meters of the vehicle. Pammy is, she's running behind you. So 5 meter difference. So she's 10 meters from the vehicle, and Uldor is 20 meters from the vehicle.
Come on, guys.
And he doesn't power it down. He brings it into a hover. So you are now it's now a combat situation, if you like. He has gone into hover. He's hovering 20 meters up.
Can I try and shoot the engine?
So you can take careful aim and shoot at the vehicle. You're outside the park. I'm going to assume that you've climbed up to the roof of the air van.
Okay.
And
You're just going to fire because he hasn't taken any aggressive action towards us. He's just not complying.
Right.
Well,
he just could be a douche in a BMW.
I'm going to initiate, use my discretion and try and disable the vehicle.
Yeah. Kick through the windshield. You can see there's a Versk occupant.
I draw my auto pistol from behind my back, and I go, power it down now, or we will bring you down. I said I have snipers aimed on this vehicle. Right. I said, and I say that,
Let me know when I can fire.
I said, power it down now. I have snipers on this vehicle. We will bring you down.
Okay.
I'm firing. As soon as opportunity happens, I'm just firing. So
you're going to fire.
Hold on. I've got
fire at the vehicle.
persuasion, and charisma.
Okay, go ahead and take a Go ahead.
Okay,
and
so
roll.
much for my bluffer haggling roll.
This is time for decisive action.
You are Yazari, and I can't.
So
You got to be you, Fred.
That's it. Warmock, baby.
Careful aim plus 15. It is a large target, so we're gonna say plus 5 more. For
Okay.
a plus 20.
Stationary target because he's hovering.
So
And I have, let's see, I have beam 2. I've got to pull up my stats here. And my dex is 65, so that's a 33. So it's a 53 base plus those bonuses.
Crank it up because vehicle. I just did a whole thing of vehicle combat. You got to do a lot to bring down a vehicle.
And I rolled a 51.
does that hit?
It does. That's even without the bonuses. That's within my base hit.
Okay, and how many dice of damage did you do?
20. I was using setting 20 on the laser rifle.
Okay, so that'll be so roll
Plus
2d10.
20 to the vehicle damage roll.
Yeah, so roll 2d10 and add 20.
I got a 10,
Oh boy. Hopefully he doesn't burst into flames.
a 10, and a 9.
So 19 plus 20 is 39.
And he bursts into flames.
Vehicle burning.
Oh my god.
I looked it up and I'm like,
I guess
30
losing his
given
leg
over,
wasn't the
like,
worst thing.
oh, he does burst into flames.
I trust he's going to get out of the vehicle now.
But he's super cauterized.
So
He's got to land now. The vehicle's on fire. I think he doesn't. Everything else below it happen too.
so
I think he crashes.
no, the vehicle's out of control and will crash in 2 turns. Character can jump from the vehicle or use a parallel. So I've got his stats here. Let me give him a chance to jump from the vehicle because he will not survive a crash. All right.
Well, he does have a doctor right here.
So
Get that freeze field ready.
I'll
he
be right back.
he
I'm
attempts
listening.
he attempts to jump out of the vehicle and seems to fumble it. Maybe it's because he's missing half a leg, but he literally falls out from 20 meters in the air and lands on his head, and is below zero. He is at 0 stamina. I mean, he's
out, right? So
So kick observing that, I'm sure would run up to apply, first aid to stabilize him.
if he falls out,
If you stay dose him, he should be good if he's not below -10, right?
right.
if
Okay, hold on. As he's falling out, am I in any position to try and break his fall to get under him? He did try and jump from the vehicle, yes?
Sure. So go ahead and make a reaction speed check.
Eesh.
He's 20 meters up and you're 5 meters away.
This is gonna hurt if I do it. My reaction speed is 60. I'm kind of quick for a Rusk. I rolled a 41.
So you managed to get underneath him and break his fall. So offhand, do you know how much damage per 10 meters of a fall?
No. I also don't know what happens if you get hit by someone falling 10 meters.
I thought it was one. I seem to recall it was 1 point per 10 meters, but I could be that seems a little bit small.
That seems low.
I
We'll look it up real
would
quick.
be like 1d10 per 10 meters. So let's say you breaking his fall cuts that in half. It's just 1d10, and he takes 7. He's no longer at 0, but he is beat up. You're going to take a d10 for him kind of just landing on you.
what happened with the burning car?
So it's spinning.
Oh,
And
jeez.
And it goes crashing. It goes crashing on the backside of the parking lot. And I'm going to say 50.
9 into a food truck
Yeah.
where some school children
Oh no!
were getting ice cream right
Luckily,
next to where there was a dog adoption.
You couldn't go into like the scary clown truck, right?
so I'm giving
There's
it.
going to be so much paperwork, Warlock.
I know.
Collateral damage.
So I gave it a 50% chance it was going to crash into another vehicle, 50% chance it was going to crash just outside the fence, and I rolled exactly 50. So it's taking out. It goes spinning and crashes into another air car, and there's a fire going, and the RIC personnel are obviously alerting for fire.
They're
response.
losing their minds, right? Yeah.
Have we apprehended the suspect?
So yes,
Since I'm right under him, I'm going to immediately disarm. I'm going to cuff him.
All right.
I'm going to get my, zip ties, cuff his arms, and then search him for weapons before I treat him.
And while that's going on, I'm staying in my position, and I'm scanning the area to see if there's any signs of any other accomplices, like the human or anybody else.
And I'm going to make sure that nobody is in the way or in those cars that crashed into it. If anybody needs to be pulled out of anything, or I don't, start scanning the area.
all right, Tammy.
I just have my laser weapon pulled out.
Okay.
It's assisting Kick because he's got his hands full.
All right, so she's covering Kick while he restrains the guy. Oodledore does not find anybody in the cars that are in danger of going up in flame. Luckily, these are electric vehicles, so we're not talking accelerants like gasoline. And there are no other vehicles fleeing the scene other than there's gonna quickly be a fire response. Put it out.
Gotcha.
All right.
Wow.
Awesome.
That was epic.
That's one word.
Welcome to video police work.
I've always hated the vehicle combat rules, and because you could you shoot at a vehicle, you never damage it. But the fact that you rolled a 9 and a 10, and then had the plus 20, you maxed out the scale on the vehicle damage chart for air vehicles. It's a crash and burn. So a little bit of an epilogue here. The verse that you've captured. He is a suspected First Mafia thief. He's got a previous record. He's suspected by Star Law as being part of the Zinc. He is not going to give up any goods unless you're going to interrogate him with tell-all or through psychosocial skill. And but you've also had reports that the Zinc, that they have conditioning in case you ask them anything about their organization. It causes them to pass out right away, and it halts any further questioning. So you kind of know that this guy could be a dead end, but he could also give you information.
Okay, I'm going to try and use some of my persuasion and say, I know that, you're probably conditioned against giving away information. And, I know that you're loyal to your organization and you don't want to betray anyone. And I find that all very commendable. But I think you need to really be worried about yourself right now and know that I can get you into a medical facility that might be able to reattach your leg, which we have in custody.
And he's like, why? They grow back. Versk actually grow back their legs if they get amputated.
Really?
Not if I put my cigarette out on the stump.
I'm not translating that.
He was that committed to getting away that he was willing to go.
I'm going to say, I'm going to respect your choices here and not waste my time or insult you with interrogation. Masterfully done, getting in and out. Your timetable was off. Had you attempted your escape a half an hour early, you probably would have gotten away with it. Reflect on that for the next 20 years in a prison cell.
Yeah. And shortly after that, a lawyer shows up. I represent blah blah blah. So there's a lawyer already involved.
But when we're back at HQ, or while we're still in the
you brought him back to HQ. You're trying to.
The lawyer was probably on the ground, waiting to see if he got pulled in.
Right.
The Zenk are very organized. They probably sent in his legal defense team as soon as he didn't check in.
So there's already a lawyer involved. He's already got an order barring any tell-all interrogations for the rights of the individual. So that's already going the way it's going to go. You can attempt a social interrogation.
I'm gonna attempt it one, and if you tell me if I get any bonuses for this, and I'm going to say, I respect your professionalism. I'm not going to insult you by trying to strong arm you or offer you a deal. I'm just going to point out one fact. The only reason you're still living is because I decided to jump under you to break your fall rather than away. So I'm not asking you to betray your organization, but if you could tell me who hired you to steal this item and why, I'll consider your debt to me wiped. That is, if you place any true value on your life.
Well, I place value on my life, but I'm a professional, and I've got a code of conduct.
Can't Warmock just squeeze that cut off leg a little bit?
He's in police custody, guys. There's going to be enough. There's going to be enough paperwork for bringing down an aircraft in a parking lot with a laser rifle.
We got them. We got our man, did we not?
And his lawyer
and
he's going to be a dead end.
Oh, that's okay. We now have the luxury of knowing that. If he got away, we wouldn't know that.
Do we know the identity of this person and how he got in? Other than did he just walk in through that sewer or drainage system and up into it? I mean,
he swam ashore and went in through the storm drain, came up through the manhole cover, entered through the side door, robbed the vault, teleported the module out, and was about to leave when the security robot was doing rounds and ran into him. And then that complicated his life. He destroyed the security robot, but it had clamped on his leg and he couldn't get it to release. And so that's when he went, I'm going to cut this leg.
247 hours, yeah.
Yeah. So it complicated his life, and he did get back down the storm drain, but he was waiting for all the people arriving. He was planning to swim out and I guess potentially be picked up by a boat. But his life was complicated. He was trying to, didn't think he could swim out. He was in a wounded situation because the robot had injured him, and he had severed his own leg, so he was compromised as far as his stamina.
So even the fact that he owes me his life, he's not going to talk.
He's not going to talk. He's more afraid of his own organization.
It's like Klingons. Klingons always talk about honor, but they always do something different.
All right, so let's concentrate on Fred now, or are we going to call it? It's 11.
Yeah, so we can call it, and there's some development of information that can happen. It'll happen on the Facebook group over the next 2 weeks, and we'll pick up the next 2 weeks where you're pursuing this lead on this Fred guy.
Awesome.
And once again,
we
solve all of our problems with one shot.
We have a trend going.
In my case, it was an anesthetic needler volley. In your case, it was a full max damage setting on a laser rifle.
Crazy.
Resulting in several fiery crashed vehicles, some dead school children, a food truck, and a puppy adoption.
Alleged dead school children.
Alleged.
Honestly, it was
laser weapons in this game. They're too high damage sometimes.
That the use of the bat bin. That's the first time I've ever used that in a game. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, same here. That was cool. That was definitely a cool element.
And for all the years I've played, this is the first time I've run into a Zenk agent. So Cool.
So the
I'm glad-
question is,
I'm
now
glad
that we
we're-
know that the Zenk are involved, and we know that the Cicada's on the loose, and we know that there are high-profile targets that
whoever's
robotic
behind
purge
this
module
hired
can be
the
used.
thief and the assassin. So
So
these guys are just mercenaries. They don't have an
Yeah.
the plot
agenda.
thickens. The plot thickens.
Their agenda is making money.
Very cool.
All right. Well,
Very
good
cool.
game.
Tom. This was fun. Thank you.
Good game, guys. Had a great time.
All right.
Good
Thanks.
job, team.
Good job, Tom.
All right. Thank you.
Nobody got hurt but me.
And the children.
And the alleged
And the
school children.
School children.
All right. Good night, guys.
All right.
Good night, gang.
Bye bye.